Okay, the Detroit Lions have a new player in the mix for a starting cornerback position, according to Aaron Glenn. And I think if you asked any of us 1 year ago at this time who would be in the mix for the Detroit Lions as a starting quarterback, comfortably none of us would have said Will Harris. But here he is. Aaron Glenn was doing an interview. We've talked about this. It was a little while ago. And he said he's doing well out there. He's a good physical corner. He has a legit chance at competing for that starting position. Chris, what do you make of this? Are you happy? Are you confused? Are you sad? What are you thinking?
I'm it's interesting. And the interesting part is, wow, awesome. I mean, you want to go positive with it. It's like, that's right, baby. We need a corner. It's great to see that he's able to do it. But it's
Yeah.
like, wait, Will Harris can just step right in and be a starting. Like he can jump ahead of, all our corners and
Okuda?
Okuda. Jerry
Sure.
Jacobs is hurt. Who's the other? Mike Williams or Mike
Hughes.
Hughes. Thank you. It's like, boy, I don't like that. Iffy, another one where it's like he's
Well,
just
he's
kind
a
of jumped.
safety now.
Yeah, right. So it's like, okay, so Will Harris,
Mm-hmm.
I need to know. I'm shocked. I'm okay. I'm moving from interested to more shocked. I'm shocked that he
Was
is.
excited.
Yeah, he is. He's able to just jump right in there to corner because his body, he doesn't feel fluid to me. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, oh, that would be the guy that could play corner. Just to me, it doesn't feel right on the surface. But I don't know.
I don't know. So here's what I always thought with him. I always thought he did a decent job of sticking with players when he would be man to man against them, but he struggled in space. So
Mm,
he struggled. I mean, like, which would say, like, yeah, he can't play safety if he's going to struggle in space because they spend their whole life in space.
that's right.
But at the same time, he lacked that acceleration to stick with players that like just stick with them in that space. So what is that going to look like as a corner? And immediately I start thinking to myself, like, okay, I understand Okuda's working his way back from Achilles, so that makes sense. But what about Hughes? Right. And
Yeah.
then can you pull up that one more time, that depth chart that
Yep.
like, all right, what about Hughes? And then I start thinking to myself, well, Jacobs probably would be competing for this opposite corner, this starting position, but he's still out with the ACL. So and Melifonwu got moved to safety. So all of a sudden, it actually starts to make some sense. Like it actually makes sense. Like I would expect him to be better than Chase Lucas. I would expect him to be better than Bobby Price, but I wouldn't expect him to be better than Hughes or
No.
Jacobs when he returns. And he shouldn't be better than Okuda. So that's my big question on all this is what's going on with Mike Hughes right now, who is a starting caliber corner that we got from Kansas City.
Yeah, haven't heard much from him,
Heard
and in
about Juju
fact,
Hughes playing well
Juju Juju Hughes. I
at
mean, look at him.
safety. And we're all like,
And
wait, I thought his name was Mike. Oh, no, there's another guy named Juju.
oh, it's
Got it.
Juju. Yeah, that's right. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was talking really well about Chase Lucas, which was a
Yes.
really big surprise as well. So I haven't heard
I
anything about Mike
know.
Hughes, and I really love that signing when we got him because I thought he'd be a starting corner. Like I thought this guy's a
Yeah,
starting
while
NFL
Okuda
corner.
makes his way back, he'll start
Yeah.
opposite Oruwariye and Jacobs. While Jacobs and Okuda make their way back, he'll be there.
Yep.
That's what
And
I
so
thought.
I don't know if it's like, man, we really see a great skill set in Will Harris, and so we want to move him there, or if it's like, oh man, let's throw Will in there, right? Like see if he can do something. So that's where I really and we talked about this on the last video. The
Man,
preseason with the Lions for the first time in a while is like semi interesting. I say that now, I'll probably have it off at halftime, but it's
no,
it's
you
like
won't.
it's like, man, what is like this is a perfect one. It's like he's gonna I want to watch him play corner. Like I really
Yeah.
am interested in this. And so and why I say it's so interesting is because usually we haven't had this like depth and interest level like in the third string like this. I mean, this seems like interesting. I don't know if it's because we're following it more than ever because we are talking about it, but
Yeah.
it's just going to be great to see the preseason again. Hard Knocks. I mean, he could easily be a one of those focus guys for Hard Knocks where it's like he changed position. So
Oh, they'd love that stuff.
oh, just keep my eye on this because I gotta see this. I'm having a hard time envisioning Will Harris at corner.
Well, and here's the thing. He's 6'1". He's like 210 pounds. He's a big physical corner. That's the other thing
Yep.
Aaron Glenn was saying. Like, he's physical. So he seems to me like he'd be your more typical like press corner.
Mhm.
And I just wonder, how do you play him on that? Do you always have to have a safety shading over the top, knowing that he could get beat deep? Do you trust his physicality that he'll be able to stick with players? I mean, like, do you put him on the bigger receiver? Right? Because he has that physical nature and physicality about him, and you stick him to guys that aren't that quick little shifty guy. I don't
Right.
know what you do, but I'm intrigued by it.
I'm
And
intrigued. Good
I
word.
am
Yep.
intrigued because there are enough coaches and enough, like, this isn't one of those things where Aaron Glenn came out and said it. It was Aaron Glenn said it. The guys at Pride of Detroit said it. The guys at the Athletic said it. Everybody's been like, he looks comfortable at
Mm.
corner. And I don't know if you remember, like, we throw Goff's name out here a lot because a quarterback is like the most important position on the team, right? Last year looked like a deer in the headlights, wasn't doing well. And then all of a sudden this year, he looks super comfortable in training camp. Well,
Yes.
Will Harris 2 years ago under Patricia is like the guy who's literally doing interviews midseason. He's like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm doing everything. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to do
remember that.
everything they ask. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do everything they ask. And then last year, it's like he played safety better.
Yep.
Like, he did. I mean, even if you look at his stats right here, I mean, like, he started more games, right? Like,
Mm.
a lot more games. He had more tackles. He did play better. He just did. But at the same time, he still never looked fully comfortable. And what if there's just a realization that is, he never looked fully comfortable because the only place he really is comfortable is as a corner. And he
Boom.
loves using the boundary and he likes being physical. And as a safety, he can't be physical except in the run game. So
That's right.
maybe he just plays better in tight spaces than he does in wide open spaces. Some players just do.
Yeah, you make a great point. I think that is stuck in my head is Will Harris being one of the main spotlight guys in the Patricia era of like, oh, there's a soundbite of a guy that has no idea what he's supposed to be doing.
I
It's
know.
week 10, right? Like I remember that, and I remember he wasn't really sure, wouldn't know if he was gonna be a safety, and it's like, man, we picked this guy up in like the third round or whatever,
Yeah.
and so yeah, you make a great point. He is not comfortable with Patricia. Then last year he played a lot more, but yeah, still just maybe there's some things there that he could improve on. It's like, well, what do we move him to corner where he's physical, he's fast enough? You make a great point. I'm curious to see if does feel like he's just going to get burned like no other at times. So I wonder what we'll
Or
do there if he will play press. So it's all things we got to watch and see as the secondary. We haven't talked a lot about the secondary, Craig, but the
no.
secondary, if that can just kind of come together and Will Harris moving to corner to kind of solidify that makes it happen, then I mean I'm all for it, but
Well,
it just got to see it.
I'm just trying to be, super positive, glass half full guy. What if it's one of those situations where they're like, hey, Will Harris showed us something. We think he is a good football player, but he's not good enough to get on the field ahead of Tracy Walker or Deshaun Elliott. Like, he's just
Mm,
not going to get on the field that much. Melifonwu, who knows? This move might be even more about Melifonwu than it is
that's
about Will
true.
Harris. Yeah, I don't know. So it's and Kirby Joseph, like, we took him with the third pick or in the third round this year, and we think he's going to be something special.
That's right.
So we need to make room for these guys at safety. So Will Harris, you have your best shot at playing for this team at corner. So
That-
I don't hate it. I think either way, it's like a fringe starting guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he gave it his shot at safety, and at strong safety, it was a shot that probably missed, and now he's going to get his shot at corner, and I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm excited, and I really like to see the depth in our safeties look much improved. Man, remember that last year it was Tracy Walker, Will Harris, and Brady Breeze, and that was it. And now we've
Yeah.
got Deshaun from last year, Deshaun Elliott, Iffy now has moved to safety,
Yep.
Kirby Joseph, Tracy Walker can show. So, boy, again, it's one of those things we want
It's
to
just more
watch this.
depth.
Yeah, we've got depth now. We've got some actual names that you're like, oh yeah, I remember. That's like instead of, I mean, no offense to CJ Moore or
He's still
Juju.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
feel good about it.
He's there,
Mm,
but like, it is one of those things. And I think with preseason this year, I don't think it's just that we're talking about it. It's the realization year after year, you see so many injuries that
mhm.
you need to see depth. I remember in the first preseason game last year, the backup offensive line came in and it was like free rush. Like, and so it's just like, oh, if anybody gets hurt on the offensive line, we are screwed. And then Brown ended up playing well and stuff like that. But like, what are we looking for? Do the corners have depth so that they can, if they can play well against their counterparts on second team, maybe they have the ability to step in at first team and not be a huge liability.
Yep.
So
Love it.
and that's what we're looking for. We can't have a liability opposite Oruwariye. We just can't. So
because you're right. They're going to get injured, and it's just you need depth.
He's been healthy. How about that?
Mhm.
Can we say that for him? That's an ability
Yes.
in itself. So, hey, let us know what you think about Will Harris at corner. Are you excited for it? Do you think it's just a desperation move for a guy to continue in his career? Or do you think he might actually have something there and it might be his position and he will stick? The coaches seem to like it. The media seems to like it. I'm excited to see what it looks like on August 12th. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Hit that subscribe button. And Chris, say bye to the people.